Today's lesson is using proportions to solve problems. Layla and Joe are two partners in a business. Layla makes $3 in profits for every $4 that Joe makes. If their total profit on the first item sold is $105, how much profit does Layla make? Okay, so these kinds of problems have a lot of information, and we want to organize that by writing a proportion or comparing two ratios. So what we're looking for is how much profit does Layla make. So we know we need her in our ratio because that's what we're looking for. We know how much she starts with, and we know the total amount of profit that they make after the first item sold. So what we can compare is Layla to the total amount. So if we look back at our problem, she made $3, and together they could make $7 in profits. So now we want to jump to our second ratio, and we know that together they made $105, and we want to find out of that how much was Layla's profit. So once we have our proportions set up, the next step is just to solve it. So we say, how do we get from 7 to 105? We're going to jump by a certain factor, a scale factor. So if we do our division, we'll find that that missing number is 15. 7 times 15 will give us that 105. And if we do that to the bottom, we have to do it to the top. So go ahead and work out the problem on the side of the page if you need to, or mentally, which is even better. 3 times 15 is 45. And as a sentence, we would definitely need to write out that Layla will make $45 in profits. Okay, let's try another problem. And feel free to pause it if you want to try this on your own. But we have an airplane, and each aisle has 5 total seats. So on the left side there are 2, and on the right side there are 3. And the total number of seats on the plane is 150. So here's our question. On an airplane, there are 2 seats on the left, 3 seats on the right, and 150 seats altogether. What we want to find out is how many seats are on the left side of the plane. And our second question is how many seats are on the right side. So again, this problem can be organized by writing a proportion and comparing two equivalent ratios. So looking back, you want to look at what you're solving for first. We want to find out how many seats are on the left side of the plane. So we'll label our proportions like this. The second thing we're looking for is how many seats are on the left. Well, there are 2 on the left side. Okay, next. Well, we do have information on the right side, but we're not really solving for it. So what can we compare the left side to? Well, we do know how many total seats there are. So we're going to compare the left side to the total number of seats. So if we go back to the beginning, out of the 2 seats on the left, you're going to have 3 on the right, which gives you 5 total. And what we're looking for in our second proportion is 150 seats total. So now we just solve our proportion. 5 times what is going to give us 150? So go ahead and solve the math on the side of the page to find out your scale factor or the jump number. And you'll find that 5 times 30 gives you the 150. So we do the same thing to the top. 2 times 30 will give us 60. So as a sentence, there will be 60 seats on the left side of the plane. All right, and so for part B, it's almost the exact same thing, but we're solving for how many seats are on the right side of the plane. So we still want to set up a proportion to compare our numbers. And this time, instead of the left side, we're looking for the right side, so we want to label it properly. And we're still comparing to the total number of seats. So if we go back to our question, on the right side, there are 3 seats. So we're going to write that in. And the total number in that aisle are 5 seats. We're looking for the total at the end on the right side, but we do know the total seats on the plane is 150. Using our same scale factor from part A, since it's the same, we know that 5 times 30 gives us the 150. We do that to the top, and we find out that 3 times 30 gives us 90. So there are 90 seats on the right side of the plane. Now, if you wanted to go through and actually draw out all of the seats on the plane, you are welcome to do that, and you'll find that if you have 150 seats total, and then you go through and count the number of seats on the left side, you'll find that there are 60 and 90 on the right. All right, so going back, it looks confusing, but if you keep your proportions labeled and you really organize your work, you'll do just fine. Thanks for watching.